I think fairy tales are timeless. I really do. It's interesting that sort of that people are embracing them now in the way that they are. Um, but Into the Woods is unique in that it's so many fairy tales coming together. I love that sort of mashup of all these different stories: Cinderella, Jack and the Beanstalk, Little Red Riding Hood, and then there's the invented tale of the baker and his wife, which is sort of the centerpiece of it. But it's a very complex piece, which I like, and I like that it sort of intercuts between all these different worlds, and it's kind of a big collision of them all, which brings a lot of humor, obviously, to the piece too. But also, I think it brings all of the sort of cautionary elements of those tales together into one movie, and I always was excited. I saw the piece originally on Broadway, and I just thought it would make a great film, and it's great that it's actually happened. Sometimes that doesn't come all together, but it's nice that it has. Yes, well, you're absolutely right. I mean, I took great comfort in the fact that we had James Lapine and Steve Sondheim working on this piece. James wrote the screenplay, and Steve was involved the entire time, because it's tricky. You want to make sure it works as a film. That's the most important thing. Obviously, you have to serve the film, but you also have to make sure that you retain the core elements of the piece that are so special and so beloved. And the trickiest part in a way is the condensing of the material, because on stage it's 2 hours and 45 minutes or something like that. Our film is 2 hours, so that's one of the hardest things, kind of staying within the confines of a film, the pace of a film, which is different than on stage, having done both. So I know how that works. And I also think, the two-act structure on stage, which is very, on stage, the first act is up to Happily Ever After, and the second act is after Happily Ever After, and ours is all sort of into one piece. So finding that transition into that act, that was something we worked on. But it's usually when you have to eliminate a song or a character, you have to be very careful and meticulous about that kind of work. So we were very thoughtful about that. Well, I was really impressed with Disney because they were interested in expanding the definition of what a modern fairy tale could be. Um, that was that was impressive, because I think they understand, and they they this is why they were interested in doing this piece, that these very timeless fairy tales can be told in so many different ways. And it's important to not just sort of stay with the old way of looking at some things. It's good to look at new ways of seeing them. And I think today's generation is interested in that kind of thing. So it's what made it unique and exciting and scary at the same time as both. But I was impressed that they wanted to do that, that they wanted to sort of push the boundary of what it could be. Well, that's my joy. My joy is working with actors. That's what I come from. That's what I love. This has an enormous cast. There are 19 principal actors, which is sort of amazing. Starting with Meryl Streep, who is extraordinary. I mean, there's no one like her. To have the chance to have worked with her, and she leads the company in such a beautiful way, and it really is a company. I feel that's what we did. We sort of created a company in rehearsals. We had time to sort of look at the material in rehearsals and learn it, and create this group of people that were all telling the same tale, and we're a part of the film together. But it's a joy for me to work with actors. And in this film I had the most amazing group of actors.